We are so back, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a little bit. It's been a couple weeks, I believe, if not longer. Um, been busy. Also had a little bit of life happen, but it's all good. I'm blessed, and we are back, and that's all that matters. We are here to react and give our thoughts on Phoenix Suns' new GM, Brian Gregory, and his introductory press conference. And oh boy, where do I even begin with this? Um, if you're on Twitter, which I would, after all my years on Suns Twitter, I would say proceed with caution if you're going to join Suns Twitter. If you're on Twitter, you'd think that this was like the worst day in Suns history, and the Suns are doomed. And I don't really know if I have that kind of thinking. I had a friend of mine on Instagram DM me, and he asked me, like, "Hey, Suns Geek, what do you think of the new hire?" And if you guys have been following my channel, or if you're new to this channel, I haven't really made a video or even a YouTube short or a live show about the hiring. And not to make excuses or anything, but a lot of that was just because I was dealing with a lot and I was busy and life was happening and yada, yada, yada. So I do want to start with that. And maybe we'll dive a little bit later into Brian Gregory's like history with basketball and connections with the Suns and all that. We'll do that later. But I do just want to give you guys my thoughts, because you're going to hear me say that a few times throughout this live show. And not just this live show, but like in future videos and stuff too. I'm not thrilled over the hiring, but I'm not disappointed either. And that might sound like an unpopular opinion. But that's just how I think. I just, at the end of the day, I think we just have to give this guy a chance. I think that's fair to say. I'm sure some of the more critical and negative Suns fans would 110% disagree with that. But I really do believe, and I've been saying this in so many different live shows and in videos, been saying this for a while now, you guys. We needed a fresh new mind. We really did. It would have been interesting to get a fresher new mind sort of from the outside, because this is an internal hire, which again we'll talk about later when we're looking into more Brian Gregory stuff. It would have been a little better and a little more exciting if this was an outside hire, somebody who already wasn't a Sun. But regardless, we have a fresh new mind. And even though this season I was extremely critical of James Jones, you've heard me say it a million times, I do not wish for anybody to lose their job unless they deserve it, of course. So I am glad that James Jones still has a role in the Phoenix Suns. But we really did need a fresh new mind. So again, I'm not disappointed. Oh, excuse me. I'm not thrilled with the hiring, but I'm not like disappointed either. Obviously, there were some more flashier names out there, but I don't really know if a lot of those names were like concrete, like, okay, they are connected to the Phoenix Suns. They are interviewing for the Phoenix. I heard some mixed reporting about that. I don't know what was true and what was not. I know the Bob Myers thing was floating around a little bit, but I don't know if that was fully true. Doesn't matter, you guys. It's all in the past. Brian Gregory is the newest Phoenix Suns general manager. And again, I'm not thrilled, but I'm not disappointed either. We just have to give this guy a chance. And unfortunately, we live in a world now, especially on social media and Twitter, where every single move this guy makes is going to be overanalyzed. And I guess actions speak louder than words. Brian Gregory has a lot of work to do. And I believe he is aware of that. He even referenced that a few times in the press conference. where he said, he's ready for the challenge. And we're going to get into it. I didn't like necessarily write down every single quote that he said. I'm kind of just going over the biggest quotes, sort of like my takeaways and all of that. And let me just take a sip of my water here, and then we'll continue. First off, it's sort of a running gag, and I feel like it's going to be sort of the off season, the joke of the off season for Suns fans, or inside joke. I don't know. It's going to be like a joke for Suns fans that that the words alignment and identity were sort of like the buzzwords today. In fact, I think even my friends over at PHNX had a tweet about that. So we'll start with that right there. Let me just share my screen real quick because I did find this kind of funny. Let's see. Sorry, guys. You know how this all works. One-man show here. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. And real quick, you guys, sorry I didn't let you guys know I was going live. Sort of a busy day today. So I appreciate anybody who's watching now and or later. But whenever my computer decides to work, what is going on? Here we go. Yeah, so shout out to PHNX for this tweet. Oh, wait, hold on, guys. Sorry, my bad. Something's not working here. There we go. Fun fact. Suns GM Brian Gregory, excuse me, I can't talk. Fun fact. Suns GM Brian Gregory used the same variation of the word align or alignment 23 times during his 37-minute introductory press conference today. Shout out to PHNX for that great tweet right there. Yeah, 23 times he said the word align or alignment in his 37-minute press conference. That's crazy. The more you know. Great tweet by PHNX. Okay. So yeah, like I said, you guys, that was sort of the running theme, the buzzwords, etc. throughout the press conference. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to sit here. now, real quick, whether you're a new follower, first-time viewer, or whether you've been watching me since day one, you guys know me. I am the most optimistic, positive Suns fan there is. I try to pride myself on that. I try to stand out by being that, and I truly am. Like, I try to stay positive, you guys. I'm not like jumping up and down right now. I'm not like, oh my gosh, Brian Gregory is going to lead us to a championship. He might. I can't predict the future. You can't predict the future. But like, I've seen better press conferences, and I'm not just talking about Matt Ishbia, because Matt Ishbia could do any kind of press conference on almost any topic, and that guy just has a way of getting me pumped up and excited. Matt Ishbia could talk about like cooking for 20 minutes, and I'd be like, I want to be a chef now. I've seen better press conferences from other GMs out there that were more, I don't even know what the word is. Exciting, not just exciting, but more like, I don't know. I'm trying to remain optimistic. I'm trying to remain hopeful. But again, sort of like with my thoughts on hiring this guy, I'm not thrilled, but I'm not disappointed. This wasn't the best, introductory press conference there ever was, is what I'm trying to say. And I just cannot repeat this enough. It's fair to be critical of this, especially after this press conference, but we should all give this guy a chance. Now, let's dive into some key quotes here. And I want to start with something that I think he said like midway through the press conference. This was sort of one of my biggest takeaways here. Just waiting for the thing to load. And we're actually going to hear from Brian Gregory. So let me, oops. Let me put my thing down real quick, my microphone. Let me share my screen here. Give me a second here, you guys. My bad. I need a producer. Anybody knows how to do StreamYard and all that, please hit me up. Thank you to everybody who's watching now and or later. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to smash that like button, you guys. Okay. Sort of one of my biggest takeaways is right here. And we're going, oh, wow. Okay, that did not work. What is going on with my life? Here we go. Perfect. All right, cool. Right here. I liked Brian Gregory's answer here. Now, it's a little reminiscent, if that's the word. It's a little, I mean, he might have been piggybacking off like what Matt Ishbia said about like next year's team. But I forgot what the question was. We're going to listen to the whole thing here in a minute. But one of my biggest takeaways was this. Suns GM Brian Gregory talked about how he wants fans to leave the arena by saying that the team played hard. And by the team, he's talking about the Phoenix Suns. He wants fans, you listening, me, everybody, media, staff members, etc. He wants everybody to leave the arena saying that the Phoenix Suns played hard and unselfish and give second and third efforts. Play with joy. Brian Gregory, if you are listening, which I know you're not, if anybody from Brian Gregory's team or the Suns team is listening, which I doubt any of you are, I really hope that Brian Gregory remembers what he said and remembers what James Jones said, or not James Jones, and what Matt Ishbia said. I hope that that is the motivation. I hope that that is all the motivation that, that Brian Gregory and the Suns regime, Suns staff, front office people, I hope that that's all the motivation they need to make us a championship contender again. And what I'm trying to say there is that I hope Brian Gregory and the rest of the Suns front office and ownership, Matt Ishbia, builds a team that us fans can actually be proud of. And like Brian Gregory said, we can all leave the arena saying that the Phoenix Suns played hard, that they showed effort, hustle, second and third chances, etc. That's what I really hope the motivation, or at least some of the motivation, is for Suns new GM, Brian Gregory. And yes, Gambino, thank you, Mark, for answering the question. But James Jones fired? No, James Jones did not get fired. I said that earlier in the show. He just is like a senior advisor now or something like that. But yeah, he has not been fired. Which again, like James Jones played one season with us during his career, was our GM since like 2018, 2019, I believe. So, getting sort of a demotion, if you will, to a senior advisor role is fine. At least he's still with the team. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. But again, we needed a fresh new mind. Thank you, Andrew, for the super sticker. $2 super chat. Really appreciate that, guys. You totally do not have to, but if you want to, leave a super thanks. Leave a super chat. It really helps support this channel, helps keep the lights on around here. And I'll make sure to read your comment or whatever, or just shout you out. And just thank you guys for doing that. I really appreciate it. Okay. More thoughts and takeaways here. Let's see. I know that there's a big narrative. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We have to kind of continue with what Brian Gregory actually said here. You guys can actually hear from him, and then I'll give you guys my thoughts. Sorry, guys. It's been a few weeks since I've done a live show. I'm a little rusty. Okay, here we go. Let's listen to Brian Gregory. Hopefully you guys can hear this okay. I'll turn up my volume a little bit. And then shout out to Dwayne Rankin from this clip from the Arizona Republic. And let's listen to Brian Gregory. Remember, this is Brian Gregory talking about how he wants fans to leave the arena saying that the team played hard, unselfish, second and third efforts, playing with joy. Here we go.
Combinations that give us the best opportunity for that talented roster to perform even better. But there's a baseline and a foundation of talent.
Hopefully you guys can hear that.
Can put us in a good position moving forward. Drafting is going to be critical. The free agency is always critical as well. But I think the biggest impact can be made in some of those things that we've talked about time and time again already. Is the team aligned? Does the team know exactly what its identity is? Because when that is added with talent, and then the execution part of that, and if that's added with the talent that we have, we're pretty darn good. How good? That a little bit depends on development during the season and some factors maybe outside of our own control. But it gives you a fighting chance. And when you got some of the guys we have on our roster, if you got a fighting chance, you're gonna take it. So I think that's going to be, it's an important question that you ask. And for us, that's part of our job to figure that out, to be able to implement who we have, add a piece here or there, and see if, when all that's mixed together, if you can produce a competitive team that has to be able to compete every night. Every night. I always say, when I talk about the identity, one of the things is really important, like when our fans leave the arena.
Here we go, you guys, listen. This is it.
Here's what I want them saying. Man, that team plays hard. That is the most unselfish team I've ever seen. Did you see the second and third effort that team made on the defensive end? Every loose ball, that team was on the floor. That team looks like they enjoy playing with each other. They play with joy. They play with juice. They play with all the things. That's identity, because now it doesn't just talk about, people feel it. And with our roster and with the roster we're going to build, if they feel it, things are going to be very good.
That's just one of my biggest takeaways, guys. That might even be the biggest takeaway, and I know that sounds like poor analysis or thoughts or whatever, like a reaction, but it's true. Like, I'm a fan, you guys. At the end of the day, I know I have this YouTube channel, I've been doing this stuff for years, blah blah blah. I'm just a fan at the end of the day, you guys. I watch the games just like you. We have not seen that. We didn't see that much this season. In fact, even going back to last season, we really didn't see it that much, And I just hope, like I said, I know I'm sounding repetitive, but I just hope that that's how Brian Gregory, Josh Bartelstein, more on him later, by the way, Josh Bartelstein, Matt Ishbia, our assistant GM, et cetera. I hope that that's how they build this team this offseason. Getting guys out fall on the floor, dive for loose balls, pick up 94 feet, et cetera. We need that, you guys. We didn't have that. And I uploaded a clip from my April 17th show, which I know that was a while ago, but I just uploaded that yesterday, where Matt Ishbia, was talking about Matt Ishbia, our owner, is responsible for setting the identity of the Phoenix Suns this offseason. So again, Brian Gregory was probably sort of piggybacking off that, but that seems to be the theme. That's going to be the Suns' theme all offseason. Setting the Phoenix Suns' identity. Getting guys that are going to hustle and play with joy and play hard, and just hopefully getting Phoenix Suns fans excited again. And again, you guys, proceed with caution. If you're going to get on Suns Twitter, it is a dumpster fire of negativity, and I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to ignore it all. Even some of the bigger media outlets, like Suns media outlets out there, are not thrilled over this. I can't fully blame them, but I'm trying to give you guys just a little smidge of hope, just a little sprinkle of hope, Just trying to. Anyways, hopefully that's why you guys subscribe, so I can give you guys a little hope about the Phoenix Suns. Okay, let's continue, because I've been rambling for 22 minutes. Brian Gregory did not avoid, I guess that would be the word. He did not shy away. He did not avoid sort of the awkwardness and is white elephant in the room the proper words to say? He did not shy away from pretty much saying, yeah, I was promoted. I'm here because of Matt Ishbia. That's exactly what he said. Well, not exactly what he said, but that's what he said. I don't even know what I'm saying now. Alignment and identity, Suns fans. Anyways, quote, Matt and I are a team, Gregory said. We are completely aligned. We are completely aligned. I report to Matt Ishbia. That when he said that, Suns fans did not like that. But in all fairness, I do want to kind of defend Brian Gregory here for a minute. I swear to God, I heard James Jones say that. Josh Bartlestein has said that. I mean, dude, Matt Ishbia is the owner. He's a hands-on, aggressive owner. They all report to him, man. Now, just because look, I'm not in the Suns front office, but like, just because you're reporting to somebody doesn't mean like, I don't know. I'm just trying to sort of defend our new GM here. Like, James Jones has said that. Josh Bartlestein has said that. I'm sure there's hundreds of people that have to report to Matt Ishbia. But hopefully, like I've been saying, hopefully Brian Gregory has a fresh new mind and will kind of make his own decisions, and Matt Ishbia will sign off on them. But like we're going to talk about here in a minute, Josh Bartlestein will have some say. James Jones will have some say. Our new assistant GM, whose name I can't pronounce, will have a say. And lots of other people will have a say. So let's just repeat real quick. Quote from Brian Gregory, our Suns' new GM. Quote, Matt and I are a team. We are completely aligned. I report to Matt Ishbia. Matt is an owner that is involved, and I like that. So do I, Brian Gregory. But he also has empowered me to build this team and build the identity and build the alignment that is so important. But Matt and I are aligned, close quote. And then again, he addressed it, quote, and the one thing I will say is this, I'm never going to shy away from the fact that one of the reasons I'm sitting up here is because of my relationship with Matt Ishbia. So I won't spend too much time on this because you guys have Google. I'm sure other Suns pods and all that have talked about this. But let's just quickly kind of go over Brian Gregory's resume, if you will. And this was from the Shams Charania article when, he first got hired. And if my screen doesn't want to work with me here, I'll just read the notes that I took here. But I'll let you guys read it for everybody who's watching along live or later. And if you are watching along live or later, please, you guys, do me a huge favor. Crush that like button. Share the show. It would really help. Especially in these slow days of no Suns news. Okay, let's see. Come on. Here we go. So, what is going on with my life? My computer is so slow, you guys. I'm so sorry. I got a new laptop, but I haven't actually set it up yet. So I need to do that soon. So that way we don't have any of these delays or lags. Okay, that's not even the button I clicked. What is going on with my life? Welcome to Suns Geek, where you get high quality, great production, and no lags and no delays. Welcome to Suns Geek, you guys. Okay, cool. So yeah, blah blah blah. Phoenix Suns have hired new basketball operations, blah blah blah, promoting vice president Brian Gregory, blah blah blah. James Jones transitions to a new role in senior advisor. So they also, I guess, promoted the guy's name who I can't pronounce to assistant general manager and added basketball operations responsibilities to chief innovation officer Paul Rivers. So what that tells me is not only was Brian Gregory an internal hire, and I guess the guy's been with us since like 2023, I believe. And I think last season he was like a consultant or something like that. So we promote Brian Gregory, but we also like promoted these other two guys. And it seems like they will have a lot of, I guess, say and responsibilities in all of basketball operations for the most part. Same thing with Josh Bartlestein, which, sorry, Suns fans, but he is the CEO. So he has a lot of responsibility and a lot of say. But, anyways, quote, after 2 decades as an NCAA head coach, Gregory worked closely with Suns officials in the front office over the last 2 years, which we just talked about. And I don't know if you guys knew this or not. Like, I saw it kind of going around. I guess he was a key part of the 2024 NBA draft in selecting Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro, which, as terrible as this past season was, at least Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro gave us excitement and hustle and youth, which we really needed. So shout out to them for that. And then I wrote this down because I saw this too. I guess he has over 30 years in basketball. Like, I don't know if it's just coaching or just 30 years overall in basketball. I'm sure he has like more experience than that, but he went 172, so 172 wins and 94 losses at Dayton. He was 76 and 86 at Georgia Tech and 79 and 107 at South Florida. So he's coached a ton, has tons of years in basketball. And I think he was like Matt Ishbia's coach at Michigan State or something like that. So I think this is a quote from Matt Ishbia. Quote, Brian has been a valuable member of our front office, playing an integral role in drafting and developing our young players. Matt Ishbia said in a press release, quote, I am excited for him to step into the role of general manager. He is a brilliant basketball mind and will transform and elevate our team. Let's pray that that's true, Matt Ishbia. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a background. I'm sure I missed some things. I'll try to add the article later on. You guys can read it. But again, just use Google. You guys can read all about Brian Gregory and stuff. Let's continue on because there's some other things I want to talk about, and I've been rambling for 30 minutes. So I kind of already said this, but I just want to let you guys know. Josh Bartlestein. This is an actual quote from Brian Gregory. Quote, Josh is our CEO. He's involved in every aspect of basketball operations. We have an unbelievable partnership. And I will say this, I guess it's good to an extent. It's good that like Matt Ishbia and Brian Gregory are so well connected. It's good that like Josh Bartlestein and Matt Ishbia and Brian Gregory have a great relationship, yada, yada, yada. Like, at least there's like that chemistry and connection there, because if you had like 4 or 5 people who like hate each other and are always disagreeing, you're probably going to be one of the worst franchises in basketball. And I know like a lot of Suns fans will be like, we are the worst franchise in basketball, blah, blah, blah. Guys, have you like seen the Charlotte Hornets or like some other teams that are like terrible? Like, come on, guys. I know there's a lot of negative Nellies in my comment section, but come on, you guys. Let's take a chill pill. Let's relax. Calm down, you guys. I hate to sound like it could always be worse, but it really could always be worse for us Suns fans. So I will give them credit. At least there's chemistry, continuity. And I see a couple people in the comments like, and I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but I totally agree with this. I am positively optimistic about everything going forward with the Suns. That sounds like me. But at the end of the day, like Derek says, we just want a championship. Please bring it to Phoenix. That's it. And it's like, we just have to wait until this guy actually starts making moves to judge. It's like a draft pick, you guys. Yeah, you can label somebody a bust in their first year, especially if they have a poor rookie year. But I've always been a believer you can't really like call the player a bust until like 2 or 3 years forward. So like, let's just give this guy a chance. Let's let him first off hire a coach, more on that later. Let's let him get through the draft. Let's let him get through free agency. And then we can give him at least a grade. That'll be a future live show. Like we'll call it grading Brian Gregory's first off season or something like that. You know, right now it's easy to criticize. It's easy to judge. It's easy to be a negative Nelly right now because I'm recording this May 6th, 2025, when there's nothing going on but the playoffs. So Brian Gregory, I hope he's working behind the scenes. I hope, like he even said in this press conference, that 20 hours of the day will be spent looking for a head coach, blah, 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 doing all this stuff. I really hope that that's true. I hope this guy really is working tons of hours during the day, every single day from here on out to bring us back to championship contention. You know, he was asked a lot about like, you know, and I'm kind of paraphrasing the questions, but he was asked about like how are you in this position? Like what makes you qualified, blah, blah. And he said, quote, like I said, I think the relationship with Matt is a key factor. No duh. But I think my body of work over my 30 something years of basketball has put me in a position where with the leadership aspects of this job, as I said, I'm excited about that. And it's not really, I don't think fans are criticizing the 30 years of basketball. And even though the records weren't great, I don't think they're criticizing the coaching part. It's just like he has no experience as a general manager. To my knowledge, he doesn't even have experience as an assistant GM. Like he was in the Suns front office, I think in 2023, and then he was like a consultant last year. So like Matt Ishbia, like you are taking a huge swing here, and I'm using a baseball reference there, but it's true. You're taking a big swing, man. Remember the last time you took a big swing with Bradley Beal? Yikes. Oh man, I wish I could have played this when I said that. Hold on. Can I just repeat what I just said? Matt Ishbia, you're taking a big swing here. Remember the last time you took a big swing with Bradley Beal? It's okay, you guys. Even though I'm the most optimistic and positive Suns fan, I can criticize too, okay? And like I say this so many times, you guys, on the show, and I genuinely mean this. I wish I could be like, guys, Brian Gregory's gonna be great and he's gonna lead us to a championship, blah blah. I wish I could just give you guys that enthusiasm, positivity. But again, because it's May 6th and the draft is like June 22nd or something, it's hard to get excited right now because Brian Gregory he can't really make any moves right now. It's not really smart to make moves right now. You got to sometimes like play the field and see how things like see how the dominoes fall, you know? Okay. Speaking of stuff like that, speaking of Brian Gregory having a lot on his shoulders, and I said that from the very beginning of the show that he has a lot of work to do. Quote, I am not necessarily driven by the prove people wrong or anything like that. But I will say this. I understand that to the fans and to you guys, I'm going to be held accountable. to executing this vision. Thank you, Brian Gregory, for saying that. It's good to have a GM that says, I will be held accountable for this. I'm going to be held accountable to the success of this team. I completely understand that. I don't shy away from that either. That actually excites me. Good. That's as what I want to hear as a fan, that you will be held accountable. You are ready for the challenge and you are excited for the challenge. That shows to me, at least on paper, that says good leadership, but actions speak louder than words. And speaking of actions, speaking of actions, I can't even talk right now. Speaking of actions, speaking of words, what am I even talking about? My brain is melting right now. Speaking of actions being louder than words, this is what he pretty much said on the Suns coaching search. And I know there's a lot of rumors and speculation, but his first task, and I will agree with him on this. The first thing that Brian Gregory needs to do, and he needs to do it extremely well, is the coach. It's hard to build a team without a head coach. And, that's how you kind of have to build a lot of teams, whether you're like rebuilding or you're a championship contender. You got to have a coach. And as us Suns fans know, because we let go of Monty Williams, we let go of Frank Vogel, which clearly was a mistake. We fired Mike Budenholzer, which after like sitting on it for a while, I was completely wrong about that. Mike Budenholzer was a terrible hire, and I should have never said we should have given him another year. Maybe that was just my Suns fans biased in saying that. But Brian Gregory has to absolutely, sorry to use another baseball reference here, but he absolutely has to hit this coaching hire out of the park. And that goes back to Matt Ishbia, and that goes back to Josh Bartelstein and our assistant GM and everybody else. They have to get the right coach. And I'm not here on this podcast to talk about that. They have to get the right coach. And you know what? I don't want Devin Booker. How do I say this? Devin Booker pretty much said that he was going to be a part of a lot of conversations this offseason. And if I am quoting him correctly, he said he's going to be talking to everybody. I think Devin Booker should have a lot of say on who gets hired as our coach. And again, they just need to nail the hire. Quote from Suns GM Brian Gregory: "My main focus right now is hiring the next coach of the Phoenix Suns and hiring a great one." He mentioned basketball IQ, communication, sharing the Suns' vision of, toughness, physicality, holding players accountable. And then I think there's another quote too. Let me just make sure I'm getting this right here. It's pretty much what he said, but it's just like worded differently. And I don't fully blame Brian Gregory for saying this, because let's be real. Despite rumors and speculation, Andrew says, blah, 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 Suns Geek 2025. That's where my mind has been lately, guys. Just blah, blah, blah. It's the off season, you guys. It's a slow, boring off season right now. We're all just enjoying the playoffs, right? Anyways, despite speculation, despite rumors, despite what Suns fans want, Bradley Beal is still under contract with this team. Kevin Durant is still under contract with this team. So Brian Gregory is right when he says this. He was asked about like Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. I think it was Cam Cox who asked that question. Like, do you see, KD and Beal being on this roster next season? He said, He doesn't talk about player movement or trades. And in all fairness, I don't think a lot of GMs would. They're not going to flat out just say to the media, yeah, we're trading Kevin Durant. Bradley Beal's not going to be on this roster. They're not going to say that, you guys. Like, they do have relationships with these players. They're on the Phoenix Suns. You just don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's a little different if you're Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler, but that's a rare situation. You just don't do that. So anyways, Brian Gregory said he doesn't talk about player movement or trades, but he has a great relationship with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. And quote, his main focus right now is finding the right coach for the Phoenix Suns. So again, he's right. Like he mentioned, I hope that he spends 20 out of the 24 hours of the day interviewing, scouting, whatever, like looking into getting this hire right, knocking it out of the park. As he said, making it a great hire or a great one. Okay. Couple more things, and we're going to wrap some things up. Just piece. I've given my thoughts on Brian Gregory, kind of talked about the press conference as a whole, talked about some key quotes and all of that. Speaking of the Suns and the coaching hire, I've seen some things floated around that it could be like in a few weeks, which is probably true. You can get a lot done in a few weeks. You can interview a lot of different coaches in a few weeks. And it's not surprising that during the playoffs, a lot of teams grant permission to their assistant coaches to interview for other coaching jobs. That's one thing I love about basketball. I would say 99% of teams, if not 100% of the teams, allow authorization to do that. That's great. So don't be surprised if you see some tweets saying like, oh, this coach from this team is interviewing for the Phoenix Suns head coaching job, stuff like that, right? And Brian Gregory talked a little bit about that, and he said, quote, the time frame isn't as critical as getting the right coach. So he's right. Like, it could be a few weeks, it could be a month, it could be like a couple days. It's probably extremely unlikely that in 48 hours we have a new head coach, but yeah, I think it's going to be a long one, you guys. We might be before the draft. That's kind of the thing, though. Now that I think about it, like, holy crap. The draft is like June 22nd, you guys. The Suns got to like get a coach before June. Because then that coach, King Nacho says the audio is cracking. Sorry, guys. Hopefully my mic isn't all fucked up. Audio's cracking. Audio's begging stop. Audio is begging for Suns Geek to stop leaking sources. Can you guys hear me okay? Should I switch my mic up? Let me know if we're okay. Good, bad, mixed reviews. Sorry, guys. I swear my next live show will be a lot better. I promise. Audio is cracking. Speaking of Suns, what is going on in the comments? Are we good? Somebody put like a thumbs up or something. Hello? So one of the trolls in every single live show, I don't know why this guy keeps watching, but I appreciate you watching because you're helping me out. He says, wait, Suns actually have fans? Wow. This guy's like a Lakers LA fan or something like that. Okay. Ashton and Red Arrow, thank you. He says you're good. I'm sorry, you guys. I promise. Next live show will be so much better. Better quality, better production, all that. Also, you guys, I've been seeing this on StreamYard. Like, if you want to start doing your own streaming, you can use like this little discount thing, and it actually kind of helps me out if you guys do that. So feel free to do that. Click the link and all that. It's in my description box as well. So if you want to start StreamYard, it would help me out, and I would appreciate it. Anyways, what were we talking about? Yeah, so that's the crazy thing, you guys. The draft is like June 22nd or 23rd or something like that, which I'll be live both days. Can't wait. Like, they gotta get a coach soon, because then that coach is going to be like, yeah, I think we should draft player X, Y, and Z because they'll fit the identity and the alignment of the Phoenix Suns. And I think I'm going to wrap up this live show, you guys, because this audio just isn't working. Maybe I'll just switch up my audio. Hold on, you guys. Let's see. Switch audio. Excuse my. Okay, can you guys hear me? I know the audio probably sucks, but whatever. Yeah, the Suns just Brian Gregory, Suns front office, Matt Ishbia, they have a lot of work to do. And it's going to be a long off season, you guys. That's all I got to say. Corey is bringing a little optimism here. He says, I could be wrong, but hiring within is not change. I'll try to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's what we have to do, Suns fans. I do agree to an extent that it's not necessarily change, but sort of like my awesome shirt that my sister gave me. It's a change of pace. You guys ever heard of this band? I really recommend them. They're a great band. It's a change of pace. It's not thrilling. It's not like, oh my gosh, like this is a great hire. Like it's an internal hire. I have a great relationship with this person, so I'm going to promote them from within hire. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, you guys. I'm sorry, but welcome to Suns Geek. I hope you guys will subscribe anyways. Like, this is the kind of authentic, real quality, I'm putting that in quotations, that you're going to get here on Suns Geek. And that troll says, peace, man. Have a good one. By the way, your team is bad. But yet you watch every single show, man. Yeah, Andrew, I really like this shirt, man. It's a great shirt. You guys like my D-backs hat too? This was sort of an impulse buy. And by that, I was at the game with a couple of my friends and I had a couple of drinks and I was like, that hat looks really cool. I'm going to buy it. But you know what? I don't regret it. I decided to treat myself a little bit and I was like, this hat's badass. So anyways, so I think that's it, you guys. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any comments here and then we'll get out of here. Scroll up. I think one of the best comments is right here. Quote, blah, 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 Suns Geek 2025. Somebody make that a t-shirt, okay? Mark says, Ishbia owns the team. There's a difference between healthy collaboration and rubber stamping. I agree, especially on the healthy collaboration part. Hopefully that's what the Suns have. I really hope that that's what they have. And then if somebody could also make this a t-shirt, maybe I will during the summer, but it says, I am positively optimistic about everything going forward with the Phoenix Suns. I love that. That's like the best comment ever. Okay. And again, you guys, like Derek says, it's really this simple. Brian Gregory, if you are watching, if anybody from the Phoenix Suns organization is watching, we just won a championship. Please bring it to Phoenix. That's it. I don't know if I can say anything after that, you guys. Yeah. Let's see. So A says, yeah, man, I'm honestly sub because of you and not your team. I like to troll some of these guys in the comments. Appreciate your honesty, man. That's cool. At least you subscribe for a good reason. But I don't get it, man. Like, come on, bro. Anyways, but thanks, man. Red Arrow says, have a great night, man. Appreciate you, man. Andrew says, your unboxing stuff videos are entertaining. Great memories. Dude, I watch those videos from time to time, you guys. Those are great. I need to start doing more of those, especially this off season. Ooh, and that reminds me. Thank you for saying this, Andrew. I think I talked about this last live show, which was like April 17th. This off season, yes, I'm going to do my Suns content. I'm going to stay on top of the latest Phoenix Suns news, blah, blah, blah. You've since the month of May started, I've uploaded like a lot more than I did in April. So obviously I'm going to stay on top of the Suns news, live shows, videos, YouTube shorts, etc., etc. But during sort of the slow times of this off season, I really want to kind of
just do different content, especially like during like August and September, you know, when like nothing's going on. I want to get on a whole bunch of guests. And again, actions speak louder than words. I will do my best, but I want to get a bunch of guests on. I want to make content talking about like my history as a Suns YouTuber, and to maybe inspire you guys to create your own content and just get other people on and talk about their journeys on YouTube. A lot planned. But again, you guys, like I do have a life, I do have a job. I have things already planned this summer now that I'm back in the Valley. So I will be busy, but I want to get you guys a ton of content. And spoiler alert, one of the next YouTube shorts I'm going to do is I'm going to try these out. I didn't even know this was a thing, but Arizona iced tea, which I've been drinking a lot of, by the way. They're delicious. They make sour fruit snacks now. What the hell? This is awesome. My guy Thunder Steve gave this to me at his birthday party, which was an absolute blast, by the way. Thunder Steve, Thunder Stash Gaming. He's been on this channel before. Fruit snacks. I think he said they sell these at Costco, but I'm going to have to text him and see where exactly he got them from. But I'm super excited to try these. I'm going to do a little YouTube short. So that'll be probably my next video. But all right, guys, that's pretty much it. We'll see what happens, you guys. Just please try to give Brian Gregory a chance. Just give him the benefit of the doubt. And as I always say to you guys, please try to stay hopeful, even if it's just like a sprinkle, even if it's just a smidge. Just try to stay hopeful and positive about the Phoenix Suns. But that's the work that the Phoenix Suns have to do. They have to make us excited and hopeful again. So sorry for the bad audio quality. Sorry for all the lags and delays. I promise next live show will be different and better. But you guys are all awesome. And Andrew, thank you for your super chat earlier. And thank you. God bless you, man. God bless all of you guys. Stay safe out there. Be kind to people. Love people. And you already know the drill, you guys. If it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. Win or lose, Suns for life. It's in my DNA. Lots of great stuff is going to come to you guys this offseason. Tons of videos, tons of live shows. I'm super excited. And with that, you guys, peace out. God bless. Win or lose, Phoenix Suns for life. And as always, go Suns.
What's up, Suns?